Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast, where forward-thinking business leaders come to share their experiences and ideas, learn from each other, and amplify their results together.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Sales Software Review series. I am today with Alastair from NiceJob. Alastair, how you doing today?
Very good, Eddie. Thank you. How about yourself?
Doing great. Thank you for asking, and it's great to have you on the show. We have a very interesting conversation coming up. So if in the audience we have some business owners, then you're going to care about this because you are going to show us today how they can get more reviews and grow their business using NiceJob. Tell us a little bit about NiceJob, Alastair.
Yeah, NiceJob. So real high level to start with. I know we'll dive a bit deeper into it, but NiceJob is a reputation marketing software. So a lot of people, when we say that, they're like, what is that? I haven't heard that term before. So basically, it's an online app for business owners. You have your own account, and we essentially make it really easy for you to get more reviews from your customers. I always like to summarize it in kind of three key ways. We make it easy for you to get reviews. We make it easy for your customers to leave reviews. And we make it really easy for you to then share the reviews that you have. So that's kind of like the triple sandwich to how you get more reviews and how you actually use your reviews to grow the business. And we'll dive into a bit more about how we do that. But yeah, it's essentially turning all of your most vocal fans into marketing material to grow your business. And the way that we do that is through the power of automation, which is really the magic piece of it.
I love it. Reviews are huge when it comes to online sales, digital marketing, SaaS companies. And we can see that even if you, I don't know, let's say you're on a given Sunday, you turn on the TV, what you're going to see are telemarketing or just these type of commercials that half of what you see are testimonials. In other words, another type of review. So I can attest to the power of reviews and what they can do for sales. But let me ask you something. What would you say were business owners doing to collect and share reviews before they use NiceJob?
Yeah, really. So traditional word of mouth. And honestly, you'd be surprised even with how much technology is out there these days, how many business owners still use these methods. And for example, pre-using NiceJob, we see business owners come to us. And first of all, a lot of them don't ask at all. They just kind of expect it to happen organically. Like, i.e., if I do a good enough job, the customer will go onto Google and they'll take up their time to go onto Google and leave me a review. I mean, speaking from experience, I'm guilty of this myself. Even if I've had a really, really good experience, life gets in the way. Things happen. I don't always have that thing in my head where it says, right, go and leave this person a review. So I think it's really important, first and foremost, just to ask. And some business owners are doing that. And the way that they're doing that is by, maybe taking the customer's email, sending them a link to Google or sending them a text message. Again, it takes time for the business owner to do this, especially people who have a high volume of jobs week in, week out. And it's not always very effective. What we've found is asking is great, but asking just once isn't always enough. You need to remind the customer. So we either see people who don't have a process in place at all where they ask, or the processes that they use don't convert very highly, i.e. the kind of conversion rate of requests they send out to reviews they get is quite low based on how they're doing it.
Awesome. So that pretty much covers my next question, which was the challenges, right? So they're doing it pretty much manually or not doing it, like worst case scenario, not doing it, leaving pretty much money on the table. I know that sometimes having the right testimonial when you're in front of a prospect can make all the difference for that prospect to develop that trust and give you a chance and start working with you and eventually be delighted by your business. But while you build that trust, testimonials can really make a big difference. So aside from not being able to capitalize on those, not asking them, it's probably taking a lot of time to collect them if you're doing it manually. So you're not really doing it at scale. It's a motion that you may start at some point and forget about it. Because again, you probably don't have the consistency or a system that backs up these motions and takes care of it. So it doesn't really take much more of your time on a daily basis, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And we're all about business growth here. So in terms of growth, you need to have systems in place which allow you to scale. And say you're a business owner and you do have this system where you're just manually emailing out the link after each job. You're not going to be asking at the peak moment of happiness. So you need to make sure that you're asking at the right time. So, for example, some business owners who are jumping from job to job, they might do a bunch of jobs, and then towards the end of the day, or maybe the next day, they then get round to finally asking, and they're missing that peak moment of happiness right after the job's been completed. Secondly, as well, in terms of scaling, I mean, obviously you're going to be hoping to bring in, close more leads, more sales, more work. The more you bring on, the more you're going to miss that peak moment of happiness, the more jobs you're going to be doing per week. So again, like, you need to have a system, which means that no matter how much you grow, no matter how much work you bring on, your process stays the same in terms of how effective it is. It shouldn't get less effective with more work. So that's really important to automate.
And it's almost like the more effective that system is, the more snowball effect you can have from it, because the more users you get, the more reviews, the more you leverage those reviews to get more net new users. Again, the more reviews you're going to continue to get, and thus the snowball effect. Well, I'm excited to hear this. Why don't we go ahead and share the key features that you would say your customers really love the most, business owners that want to set up this system? How does that look like? Why don't you share the screen and walk us through it?
Right now, we are in the NiceJob app. So every user who has a NiceJob account has this sort of centralized hub, and it's specific to their business. So what they'll do is they'll connect all of their different review sites to start with. And that's going to pull all of the reviews which are out there into this platform. So it's just really holding up a mirror to all of their review sites and just showing you what's out there. So it really centralizes everything to do with reviews for your business in here. As you can see here, predominantly Google reviews. You can go down here and filter the different channels. So you could filter just to see your Facebook reviews. So this is a feature, a standalone feature is really good, because say you really want to up your reputation management, your review management game. If you want to reply to reviews, you can do so all in here. So whether it's yourself back in the office, or you have an office admin who's really starting to pay attention to reviews, this is going to put them all in one place for them. So yeah, in terms of, when a review comes in, it's going to come into here. Even if it's left on Google, you're going to see it on here. So yeah, you can really start to kind of build out processes with just one central hub being your NiceJob account.
I love it. And it's like an aggregator that is a two-way street. It's not just bringing the comments for you to read it in one place, but also reply back from this dashboard. So you don't have to log in into one platform, work from there, log out, log into the other one. It just centralizes. So right there, it's already saving you a little bit of time when it comes to replies and management of those reviews. Awesome.
Yeah. And replies as well. Like, even if you reply in here, you can see this owner has replied in here. That reply is then going to go on to Google as well. So a few people are kind of like, they really want to make sure the replies go on there. We basically, as I said, just mirror. So everything you do to the reviews you want in here will also be reflected on your reviews wherever they were left, be it Google or Facebook.
Incredible.
So the next feature, and this is kind of where we start to really get stuck in to how we actually get these reviews. I've just switched over to the next tab here, is basically the way that we ask for them. So when the job has been completed, and first of all, the way that we do that is by connecting to different apps. So for example, you're a business owner, say you're a window cleaner, you might be using Jobber or House Call Pro. We integrate with that software so that as soon as the job has been completed, that will trigger the automation. So that's going to enter the client into a 2-week period where they're actually going to be reminded gently over those 2 weeks. Now, what that looks like is an initial SMS text message, which goes out as soon as the job has been closed. So as soon as we have seen that trigger, be it through automation or be it through you uploading the client into your NiceJob account manually, it's going to tell us they're ready to be invited, and we're going to flick them off a text immediately. And that text is going to be really straight to the point, simple, very, very clear call to action. And in 2 clicks, they're going to be straight into wherever they want to leave the review. So they're going to be right on Google with the text bubble open. So that's why we make it, first of all, really easy to ask through the automated campaigns. And then this part is really making it easy to leave. So it's so important that you put as few barriers in front of your clients as possible. And it goes back to the question you asked previously, what do some other clients do, other users do? Some solutions, they'll offer a feedback form where you can kind of send the customer, hey, rate us on 1 to 5. If it's 5 or 4, they'll then follow up again and send a Google link. So they're really trying to ensure that all of the reviews that get left are 5-star. But the problem with that is they're really, really low converting campaigns. So if you put too many steps in front of a customer, give them too many things to do, they're less likely to do it. So our 2-week campaign period, when they get these messages, it really ensures that they're straight to the point with fewer barriers as possible in front of them. You can see here the example of the text, again, really, really to the point. And again, we kind of diversify as well the approach on these messages. So if they don't respond to that SMS, which a lot of people don't, life happens, like we mentioned earlier, 2 to 3 days later, they'll then be gently reminded with a follow-up email. Again, a very different approach on the wording of this email. So it's not just really a copy and paste. It doesn't come across as spammy or anything like that for them. So again, really just to the point, business owner's name. And there's extra things you can do here, i.e. you can attach a photo of the work you've done for the client. So when they open this message, they'll see, the windows you've just cleaned for them. Again, really increases the conversion. But all of our messages are really carefully constructed in terms of how much content is in there, where the call to actions are being placed. So we've really taken care of that for you in terms of how we ask. So yeah, that's really the feature when it comes to getting more reviews. And we do that with this automated 2-week campaign. If at any point during this campaign period, they leave a review, say they leave a review on the first SMS message or the third email, whenever that review gets left, they get exited from the campaign. So we really make sure that once they do leave a review, they're not asked again, because we want to make sure that the client's experience is as airtight as possible.
This is pretty powerful because it's pretty much like setting up an outbound email campaign with your templates, with your tokens, with the material. But in this case, it's just to get reviews. You should have a higher conversion because this is coming from customers that have transacted with you. I like the way you have these integrations with the tools that help you automate it at scale so that it happens every time there's a purchase, every time there's a delivery, or whatever you as a buyer, as a business owner, deem the appropriate trigger for the campaign. Is not just one channel. We can see now SMS, email included to invite them. You also explain how this can aggregate and put in front of the, in this case, the buyer that's going to leave the review, the different options for them to choose what platform they want to leave it. And it's not like it's going to send them over there, create a long process. And as you said, some will get approved, some won't, and some extra steps to really publish it, where now you as a buyer, you're like, oh my God, why did I even start the process of, or told these guys I ever wanted to leave a review? Now they're on top of me every 2 days. No, simple process. Make it easy to collect the reviews. I think that's something that should stand out of the episode. It's still not just the typical, hey, yeah, aggregate the sources, but you still need to do the one-on-ones. No, full cycle for collecting, using. So let's go ahead into the next part now. We've seen the collection. Take us into the probably how you either review it or leverage it. Let us know what you want to show us next.
Yeah, so the way that we actually help you leverage it, first of all, our software is really well put together for, say, an owner operator who is the only person in the business. They're on the truck going to these jobs. They don't have time to jump in. So that's where the automation really saves them time. So like we've already covered, we automate the actual collection of reviews, i.e. asking them. We also automate the actual sharing of the reviews. So within your NiceJob account, you're able to go into the social media page where you can connect up your Facebook, Google, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And then what you're actually able to do is you're able to basically set a threshold here. So that threshold, what it refers to is, you can see here, minimum rating on Facebook, 5 stars. Now, what that means is any review which is left on Facebook or Google or wherever it's actually left, if it hits that 5-star threshold, it's going to be automatically shared across wherever someone's going to be interacting with your content, wherever they're going to be making a buying decision about your business. So that could look like a social post to Facebook. So this is really how we actually, this is where the magic happens, in my opinion. So say someone leaves a review on Google, say Carver here, for example. They've left a review on Google, but you want that review to get as much exposure, even beyond Google, as possible. So and again, because it's hit that 5-star threshold, this is going to happen automatically. There is a manual component as well. If you wanted to kind of jump in here, spruce it up a little bit, kind of glitz and glam the review up. But at its core, it's going to automatically create a social post and just post that on your company's Facebook page. So again, it doesn't go on Facebook as a review because the very key thing, and we get this question a lot, in order for a review to be left on either Facebook or Google, the client has to do it themselves. They have to log in to the account themselves. So while they leave a review on Google, we get people say, hey, can you put that review on Facebook as well? We can't do that. But what we can do is we can really package it up nicely, turn it into some engaging content and share it as a post. So, I mean, particularly the demographic of 18 to 25-year-olds, I think it's 83% of them now don't just use Google. They actually go over to Facebook as well when making a buying decision, other social media sites to see what people are saying. So important that you get a review on Google, but that's not the end of the road. It's, hey, can I push this review into other places where people are going to be checking my business out?
That sounds great. Even from the preview there, we can see like if you were to do this yourself manually, you would have to take the screenshot, take it to Canva, probably maybe PowerPoint, design the background, tweak a little bit of the layout, the letters, how you want the text to look out, make sure that is the right size. Over here, you can just automate the templates, have it in the background, and every time someone leaves a review, the process will be triggered like a conveyor belt, and this will be published without any designers, anyone's time being caught up, etc. I wanted to ask you something. Can I also embed these, let's say, reviews into a landing page? Because I've seen that sometimes for, let's say, companies that do digital sales of products or just online sales funnels type of pages, click funnels, they like to have products and a little bit of section testimonial that is evergreen or that they manually have to update themselves.
Yeah.
Is there something you can show us like that?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that question. So the other way that we do it outside of social posts is through widgets on your website. And again, this isn't an add-on. By getting NiceJob, everything just comes in the one package you get. So we are going to create widgets for you, which can be embedded on your website. Now, there's two widgets I'm going to focus on here today. As an example, I'm on the NiceJob website. We've used the widgets on our own page. You can see this little pop-up here in the corner. Jesse just left us a 5-star review. This is called the Engage widget. Now, this goes on your website, and whichever landing page they are on, it's going to automatically pop up and just live stream all of these reviews onto your web page. And again, you set the threshold similar to the social post. So it's only going to do the 5-star reviews. So as you can see, no matter what page you're on, they can click here, they can expand, they can see more. So it's really important because a lot of people, they'll promote their Google page and they'll promote their reviews, but sometimes it's either a static photo of a review that they want people to see, or it's a link which takes them away from your web page.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but both are ill-advised. And the reason I say that is because, first of all, if you're taking them away from your website, then you're taking them away from the call to actions. So you're giving them more opportunity to fall out of the funnel. Secondly, when you have a photo of the review, like you said, that content needs to be updated. So when Google's crawling your site, they're trying to see how active the site is. So they're trying to see if there's been any new content on there. And this is what you were talking about earlier with the snowball effect. And it really resonated with me because the more reviews you get, the more 5 stars, hopefully, will then share on your website. You're going to have an endless cycle of fresh new content on the website. So when Google sees it, they'll see, look here, Mike 2 hours ago, David a day ago. They'll see that this website is active. It's got new content. So that actually helps with your SEO juice. It helps with your Google listing. So not only are you having all of these reviews live streamed and put in front of wherever people are making their buying decision, but you're actually showing that your business is more active, especially online. So it's really going to help your SEO.
I love it. And I've seen it in a couple of pages. Sometimes, let's say I'm buying a ticket for an event. And if I start seeing those pop-ups of other purchases, you start to get a little bit of that FOMO kicking in. Hey, baby, let's go ahead and get those VIP tickets right now. Yeah. It really drives sales. I've seen it. I've seen even the sentiment rise in me when I see these pop-ups. So that's a nice little feature. And it's just one of many, right? I can see in the back, as you said, widgets that allow me to show reviews in different layouts throughout my landing pages. And again, I already did the hard job, or in this case, the easy automated job of collecting them. Now let's put them to work and use them to convert more traffic to opportunities.
Yeah, it really is. It really is putting them to work. It's essentially sending out your biggest fans as soldiers to market the business. And it's an alternative, or people do this alongside paid ads. But in my opinion, like I spoke about that demographic of 18 to 25-year-olds, for business owners, they really need to pay attention of how that demographic is thinking, because that demographic there is going to be your future customers. It's their
Continue to grow.
Future customers. So the way they operate, you need to constantly keep your finger on the pulse. And trust me that when I say, and speaking as someone who's just outside that demographic, they're not trusting paid ads as much as they used to. You know, people want to hear what the customers are saying, not what the business is saying. Or at least if the business is saying something, they want to see that message reflected in what the customers are saying. Because it's very easy for a business nowadays to, you know, create their own messaging and pay for it to be seen by people. So people are really, really paying attention to reviews. And that's why, in terms of, every single job is an opportunity to get a review, and every single review is an opportunity to bring in one more job. That's kind of how you have to think about it.
I love that formula.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, Alastair, I have a couple of questions. There's probably someone in the audience looking at the presentation, scratching their head and wondering, what are some of the tasks, deliverables, or people involved in setting up NiceJob for their company? And how long does it typically take to reach full productivity and have this machine automatically sending the notifications or automating the requests, collecting them, and then publishing them through the widgets or through however I decided to program the NiceJob?
Yeah, great question. So the way that looks like is, and first of all, I should preface that all of our users who come and try us out, they always have a 2-week free trial. And the reason that we do that is because we basically want, in that 2 weeks, to get you instant results. And like I mentioned earlier, our campaign period of how we ask people for reviews lasts 2 weeks. So what it looks like is an initial setup call with our onboarding team. It will be about 25 minutes. We always ask that you come with your necessary login details. So if you're a House Call Pro, a QuickBooks, or a Jobber user, come with your login so we can get all of that connected. For example, if you have a Google profile, Google My Business profile, which you should have, bring that, we'll get that connected. Facebook, really any logins related to different platforms your business uses, your social pages, we will use that 25 minutes to get them all connected for you and basically tailor the account to how you want it to work. So if there's a certain trigger where you want, oh, hey, actually, this makes more sense in the customer life cycle for them to receive a review, our team will make sure that that tailoring and that trigger is set up. So yeah, 25, 30 minutes. Obviously, if there's a slightly more complex case, we might need one more meeting after that, but we aim to get it set up and running in 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then give you a full 2 weeks where we basically invite all of your recent customers. So we'll invite them from the last 30, 60 days and really try and get you as many reviews as we can in that time. And it's a really good showcase as well for you to see the software. And then once that 2 weeks is ended, we're very confident based on the results we get that you'll want to continue beyond the free trial. And from then on, it's just a job-to-job basis. So the automation, providing you have that set up, will just happen as soon as you do jobs beyond that. Then each customer will just go into the trial. So we try and do like a bulk upload at the start and then set it up so that you just carry on with what you're good at, and that's running your business.
There's a lot of things that I love about what you mentioned right now. First of all, it's not just a self-serve option. It's a 2-week trial where your team is going to start in a session where you're going to help them connect everything. So it's not like, hey, download us, try yourself, 2 weeks, and then we'll be knocking on your door to see if you want to pay. No, we're here to help you get set up. Now, let's say throughout those 2 weeks or once they paid and enroll in a plan, what type of support do they have or channels for support do they have access to, both, again, on either free or a paid plan? Phone, chat, meetings, email. Talk to us about that. Is there a dedicated point of contact at some point or not? Walk us through how that looks like, please.
Yeah, great question. I'm glad you asked. So we pride ourselves on our support. We really care about helping our users' businesses grow. So we want to make sure that we're as close to them as possible throughout the whole process. We love sharing success stories. And for that, we need close contacts and be available. So, I mean, the 2-week free trial period, just to kind of tie a knot on that, you will have your own onboarding rep and that person will stay the same. So once you get set up, it's not like you're going to have to start again with someone completely new. It's the same person all the way through. Beyond that, and if you do become a paying user, we have a very, very good success team. And we have availability. I'm not sure if my screen is still sharing, but you can see here in the bottom right corner, we have a little chat bubble. So even when you're in the place where everything's going on, you have access to live chat where you can bring that up. You can choose, hey, I want to book a call. I can book a 20-minute call right in here. If I want to actually go into live chat and speak to someone right now in my account, or if I want the number to kind of call in myself and try and get some immediate support. So we try and make ourselves available by chat, email, booking calls, or calling in on the spot. So we try and make ourselves available at as much as possible. We know kind of things in business can come up and you want to put those fires out, if there are any fires out, as quickly as possible. So we kind of apply the same principles with regards to our software.
That's incredible, Alastair. In that case, that takes me to my last question of today's session, which is going to be around the success metric or KPIs that you recommend business owners, let's say in home services, should use to measure the success of NiceJob. What would you say are some quantifiable outcomes they can expect?
Yeah, so honestly, the biggest one when it comes to quantifiable outcomes, I'm going to bring us back to this tab here, which is actually going to give you a full breakdown, and it's going to show your life cycle on where you started with reviews when you joined us and where you ended. So things to really pay attention to here is obviously the total number that you're getting from the campaign, which can be illustrated through the graph. You can show how many people you've invited in total. You can show what your conversion rate is. So that conversion rate is the conversion rate of messages sent out versus reviews being received. And for context here, the industry average, and obviously it depends, but in home services is honestly around 4 to 6%. So our campaigns, as you can see here, again, I've picked out a very successful user of ours to kind of showcase here, but it's not uncommon to see a lot of our users around that between 15 and 20% conversion rate. So definitely pay attention to your conversion rate. We also break that down in a little bit more detail. So you can actually see the conversion rates for each individual message. So you can find out which message your specific customers are actually resonating with the most. So I always find this really interesting in people's accounts because you can see here the SMS message, he's getting pretty good conversion rate. It's where he's got the most of his reviews. But then when you go down, you can see, look, email number two kind of got some conversion rate there. Even email number 4, which is coming 2 weeks later, you see how many reviews picked up and have been caught there? 243. So I love pointing this out because it just shows like, hey, if you'd have asked your customers one time, let's take out these bottom 3 messages. Yeah, you would have got 514 reviews. But look at all these other reviews you've got here. It's over 400 reviews this person's got just from those follow-up messages. So again, this is something I would pay attention to once you're a few weeks into using the platform, really seeing like which of your messages is kind of converting the best and where you can expect to see most of your reviews.
Incredible. I love that the time to value seems to be fairly quick, but above that, very cost effective because they can see the value within 2 weeks, which is still within the trial period. And after that, there's another set of or another side of the coin, which probably it'll be a little bit harder to track and attribute, which is going to be how many net new sales will I get now that I have fresh new reviews always pouring in my high intent landing pages. I have a pricing page. I also have a fresh review to always show up there. I have a little pop-up to create a little bit of FOMO sentiment and drive, maybe nudge that visitor into booking a meeting or taking the next call to action. Well, Alastair, this has been a very amazing episode. There's really very little risk to trying NiceJob. So if you're out there in the audience listening to this episode and you want to learn more, head over to the CloudTask Marketplace where you can find NiceJob and have a session with Alastair or someone in his team so they can help you get set up. 25-minute session, everything's up and running. Try it out for 2 weeks, and then you'll be the judge to say if you continue to use NiceJob. Alastair, thank you so much for your time today. I hope to catch you in a future episode.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
Awesome.